Hello and welcome back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan. NFL Week 4 is in the books, and we're here with your review show. I'm Slim. To my right, that's Slam. And to my left, we all love him, the big guy. Boys, how are we?
Great, Blaze. I'm Raps. Sorry, I thought you were going to call him the Bandwagon Fan. I'm staring off at the camera.
You're having a slight moment.
We give him 1 pointer. It's like, make some more eye contact with the fans. And he just,
And now-
all his energy goes straight into
He
it.
genuinely cannot drag himself away from the camera.
I can't think about more than one thing at once.
It's not dissimilar to your good self in a mirror, Chuck.
Oh, well.
It happens. It happens. Hey, like I mentioned, week 4 is in the books. Some interesting games, some really disappointing games in a lot of ways. I think we'll get to them when we get to them. However, with I guess Philly and San Francisco was a bit of a snoozer, as was the Rams and Giants, which we will. I'm pretty keen to launch into. But hey, speaking of launching into things, Schnazzy, good call, bad call.
Let's launch right into it, Blaze.
Oh, mate, very good.
Might be the word of the night, fans.
Look out, we have a theme.
One thing that the Texans have launched straight into, good call, bad call. The Texans made the right decision to sack Bill O'Brien.
I think it's a great call, Chuck. I'm going to let you just get into this one nice and quickly.
Fantastic call.
Yeah.
How many superlatives can I put in front of call? He sucks, and they've made just an outstanding call to get rid of Bill. Don't let the door hit you on your way out, Bill.
Life post Bill O'Brien, I think, will be a bit brighter for them. I think some of his roster moves, I saw a post today, including even like the more lesser known ones like Laramie Tunsil, things like this that have come along. It's
Not sure he'll be getting a GM job anytime soon.
I wouldn't have thought so. I think that's a great call, Schnazzy. I don't think there's any loss there for the Texans whatsoever, except maybe DeAndre Hopkins in the last offseason.
My take on this is you've given him so much control of your organisation over the offseason, and after 4 weeks, you've given him the chop.
Yeah.
It shows there's so much wrong with that front office. Firstly, you appoint him as the GM, and then after giving him the reins, 4 weeks later, chopped.
I mean, it's you don't often see it in today's, business environment where you lose both your jobs in the same day. You got fired twice in one day, which is a pretty impressive effort.
Almost
but
unheard of.
to be fair, Blaze, he was doing a pretty shit job at both.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point.
I think the Texans could take a lot out of our good friend Slam over here.
Yeah.
And that's look at the mirror. Look at yourself. If you're in the front office, have a look at yourself and say, am I doing the best that I can? Quite frankly, the answer is going to be no.
You've got to have a think about your poor fan base there. Like, how hard would it be to be a Houston Texan fan at the moment, Chuck?
It wouldn't be a good time.
No.
No,
it'd be
I
tough.
wouldn't. I'm glad I'm not.
And David Johnson continues to kind of spitter and sputter along. It's
Yes,
just really
yeah.
Better this week than last week.
Better than
but we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
Improved,
that's not
improved.
saying much, though, is it?
But hey, let's move along in the good call, bad call, Schnazzy.
So across the board, good
Fantastic,
call.
outstanding, brilliant call.
Not enough superlatives calls from Slammer.
Yeah, that's right.
Sliding straight into the next one. This one's,
Give it to me.
Probably for what a good GM or someone should be considering at this moment.
Yep.
The Jets should field interest for Sam Darnold and go full tank mode.
See, this is a very tricky one because I know, we're not completely off Sam Darnold. I think we think he's got a lack of weapons around him, which is unfortunate for the young man. But again, then you got to weigh that up against the fact that Trevor Lawrence is coming out next year, and you're staring down the barrel, quite literally, of that 0-16 season that we kind of is dreading.
Yeah, I don't think you move off because I think even if they keep him, they could get that pick anyway because they don't look like winning a game anytime soon. And then if they do get that pick, well, cross that river when you get to it and see what you can get for the number 1 pick potentially. Because if you could just get a lot of nice pieces around to help him out, that might be better than throwing in Lawrence
In the same situation.
Yeah, in the same situation with nothing around him to help him.
Yep.
My theory behind this for asking that question is, do you feel like if the season continues to go this way, Darnold doesn't show much, his trade value goes down?
Oh, I think so. I think that's probably the consideration they've got to have. I think the league can be unforgiving, and I think
they need to look at moving on like Lev Bell and any senior players. Just
I don't know
get
if
rid of
anyone
them.
will take on that.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
just get rid of anything you can for whatever you can to get some draft picks and get some receivers in and get some help in for him.
I think the word that comes, or the phrase that comes to mind when we say it all the time about the Jets, it's just a dumpster fire. I don't know how you can put, you look at the wide receiver room, it's deplorable. I mean, the offensive line, they were trotting out third stringers on the weekend against the Broncos. It is just crap. So it's a real tough time to be a Jets fan. I don't know there's many left of them anyway.
It's a Springfield tie fire.
That's
no doubt.
right, correct. No, so it's it's not a good call or a bad call really from us. It's kind of a fence.
Maybe it's one to watch.
It's a bit of a fence sitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go with bad call.
All right. Yeah, and I'll go good call just to be conflicting.
And I like my call, so it's a good call. Next one.
Yes.
Joe Burrow will be a perennial Pro Bowler. Good call, bad call.
Perennial might be a stretch this early, but he looks bloody good, Chuck.
Yeah. It's hard
Yep.
to debate that one at the moment. He's looking all the goods. Had a nice game on the weekend, so perennial Pro Bowler. Well, it's given me no indication to say that he won't be at this stage.
And that's probably a fair way. I mean, obviously sample size remains kind of small, but
It's an impressive first 4 games.
you couldn't ask for much more. I would have thought last 3 above 300 yards, I believe. So
Yes.
yeah, he's tracking real nice. Very good.
For mine, the reason I say this is watching him play, he doesn't look like a rookie.
No.
He doesn't look like he's having any growing pains that you usually see rookies having. And he's also
Yeah.
playing on an incredibly bad team. So
Got a lot of help out of Mixon on the weekend too. He had a real nice
we'll
game.
probably get to that one. I reckon
Yeah.
that's a call I made last week saying, they need to find a run game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I must have heard you.
Moving on,
They
this
must be
one, throwing a few more jabs at the Bears way. Because
Yeah.
you know
Good.
I love the Bears.
Your
I love
Bears.
to hate the
I'm
Bears.
lucky.
Your Bears.
I'm just happy to still be a part of the show because I think I might have said I would have quit.
Yeah, you did. You
Yeah.
mentioned you were going to do a full-on walk-off this time. Which
Yes.
it's Slim and the bandwagon fan. I don't quite have the same ring to it, Shazzy.
And after your last week's tipping, I don't know
Oh,
if that's going to get any viewers.
I don't want to bring back up that bloody Gmail account that's lurking around the place. It doesn't include me. But
It is.
It was
popping
going
off.
off.
I can
popping off
imagine.
this
Yeah,
week.
very good.
Now, this one here. If the Foles experiment doesn't work across the next 4 weeks, should the Bears approach New Orleans and inquire about Jameis Winston?
I wasn't sure where you're going. I thought you were potentially raising the possibility of bringing back Trubisky,
No.
which is just like, holy crap. I mean, I don't hate it. It just depends. I think
hate it.
I think, if the Foles experiment doesn't work out, you can't go back to Trubisky, obviously. Jameis is probably the most eligible bachelor sitting around on one of those benches around the league. So, I mean, this is a guy, he's maligned for his turnovers, I get it. But he was in an offense that he had to hurl it. I don't know how much of that responsibility really lays on his feet. And, why not give
Why
him a
did he
shot?
have to hurl it?
Hey?
Why did he have to hurl it?
Bruce
Because
Arians
that's what
likes
Bruce
throwing it
Arians
deep.
wanted to
Like,
do.
look what
Yeah.
Tom Brady's doing in the last
Yeah.
few weeks and the scheme that Arians is
Exactly.
trying to run there.
Exactly.
I feel like their defense in
Yeah,
Chicago.
I
you
think-
don't
I don't
have
think
to be a
it's-
Debbie
you don't have
Downer
to-
about it.
I don't
mate.
think it's going to help him.
You don't have to
I'm not
agree
sure
with the
what
call.
could help.
This
I'm
is
not
why
sure
it's good
what-
call, bad call segment.
I'm not sure what could help the Bears.
He's just come in here with his 5 kilo
Nah, he's just
bag
got-
of salt, and I'm like, no, I'm having
Dumped it
none of
straight
that.
all over us
Yeah.
and gone, I don't want a bar of
We're
it.
trying to bring the energy up, and he's just flatlining. Very good. Thanks, Chuck.
The Bears don't get me excited.
Oh, right. All right, moving on before
Neither does crab legs.
Something else that won't get you excited. The NFC... the NFC East is far and beyond the worst division in football, being 3-12-1. Do you
Yeah.
recall a time where there was a worse division?
I can't. No,
Not recently. I think it was 10 years ago. Seattle won the division at 7-9.
yeah.
That's pretty bad. But they then won their playoff game against New Orleans. It was actually the game where Marshawn had that like beast mode
Yeah,
run.
yeah, yeah.
That was that game. I think Carolina won a division like 6 years ago, like at 7-8-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it looks like the team that wins the NFC East might win 5 or 6 games.
It is deplorable, and all you need to know about that is you win your first game in week 4, and you go top of your division.
And the draw.
It's sickening.
And with the draw.
Settling for a draw.
I can't believe that. But I know we're going to get to these teams, but like, holy, the Giants, the Cowboys.
Yeah. I had
oh.
like I just sort of stepped on board with the Cowboys, maybe a little bit, and then on the weekend I just launched myself back off.
Hopped
I'm
off.
not surprised. I don't think you were the only one that tried to step on, then quickly step off, because the defense did that.
Yeah.
I don't even reckon they've set foot on the field all year.
It is a
It's just
deplorable
like
defense.
Physically, they have been there, but mentally, they have not been there.
It's just
Like they were my tip for like. Let's not forget you had them 12-4 on the year.
I'm having a great season.
Yeah.
Boy,
But, like,
was I wrong.
I said 8-8, and they're like that's that might be looking
like,
outrageous at the
generous.
moment.
Yeah,
But-
It's
yeah, I don't know. Like the offense is good, but the defense is bloody got more holes than Swiss cheese.
How good is Byron Jones?
Well,
Is that
he's
the
doing much
question?
better in Miami.
Is that the question at the moment? Like, they didn't lose that much else out of there, did they? I mean, obviously Van Der Esch is out injured.
Oh, well, they
Yeah.
lost Jason Garrett,
And
but
Jason.
look how well he's going as the Giants' offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Oh, they're just stacking
They are
points.
flying along. That top 10 offense in the Giants.
Just keep bringing back the bad calls. Keep winding it and winding it and winding it.
Recycle.
Anyways,
very good.
they're my 5 good call, bad calls.
I'm not sure I've even answered the last one.
Well, I don't know that there's much to be said. It's far and beyond the worst division in football.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely the worst.
It's
division in football.
easily
and
the
you
worst.
did recall a bad one, but that's about a decade old now. So
Yeah.
It's certainly in in recent memory, it's very hard to
Yeah.
picture 4 teams across the board being that deplorable. I think Philly beating San Francisco's second stringers on the weekend, they'd be
Are
happy
they all
to be on the board.
Are
But
the Giants 0-4?
yes.
Wow, so the Giants are 0-4, and technically
There's a tank-off happening
a
in that
game and
city.
a half outside the division lead.
yeah, it's pretty
Not
remarkable.
technically, they are, but it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. That's the best word for that division. Hey, another good segment from you, Shinazi. Proud
Love
of you,
it.
mate.
Live it, breathe it.
Yep, keep stacking wins there, my friend. Hey, speaking of stacking wins, or actually just grabbing one,
Speaking of
Adam.
crap New York teams,
New York Jets got to host the Broncos in Thursday Night Football and ended up being a bit of a shootout, which was a bit surprising in some respects. But
Brett with 2 T's started.
Brett with 2 T's started.
I think
and
we
he's-
called it here first.
Yes, he looked all right for most of it, and then holy macaroni, something
Proved why he's a third
Holy
stringer.
macaroni.
something went drastically wrong, and the pick started flying. The bloke that gave up that heinous tub to Jerry Jeudy, where he just gave up front position completely.
Got lost.
He got mossed, ended up coming back with I think 2 picks, including a pick 6. So it was a bit of an up and down game.
Well,
but
they did play up and down the field too.
That's right. It happens in football. Broncos 37, Jets 28. Key takeaway
Yeah.
here, Slammer, you reckon?
game sucked, Blaze, I'll tell you that much. But there is an interesting one. The Jets under Gase, when playing against winless opponents, are 0-7. So when a winless team comes to play the Gase-led Jets, guaranteed win.
That's amazing stat, really.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just that. We saw Bill O'Brien lose his job, and I know we're going to get to it, but Adam Gase is now probably sitting right there with Dan Quinn and alike, just thinking.
Dan Quinn is in trouble.
Yeah,
there's
there's some
trouble.
real red
so is
flags.
Gase.
There's some really average football
You're in
teams.
trouble when
There's a few
you're in
in
trouble
trouble.
when your
Let's
quarterback's
not sugarcoat
white
it.
Yeah.
and leads the team in rushing.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of highlights. I'll go off the top of my head here a little bit. Darnold's early, you're a clown. Darnold's early run there was fantastic. And as
6
much as-
rushes for 84 yards and leads the team.
yeah, concerning, massively concerning. There was a nice little talking point at the end of the game where the Broncos were trying to expire the time, and then Adam Gase kept using his timeouts, and they laid 2 big hits on
Yes.
Ripien.
Yes.
So it was quite chippy at the end of it, which
and then Fangio walked him off the field.
he did.
Yeah.
So we're clutching at straws, obviously, if that's a highlight. But
Well,
that was the
you gotta
nature of the
find him-
game.
You got to find him somewhere, Blaze.
You got anything for me, Shinazi?
My takeaways from the game wasn't expecting much, didn't deliver much, but Melvin Gordon 2 touchdowns, so good to see him.
looked good.
He was,
107 yards.
Yep, and then Jerry Jeudy getting his first touchdown.
And it was, as much as it was bad defense, it was still a nice catch.
He had to go make the contest,
Yeah.
and he went up there and he
Yep.
claimed what was his in the end.
Yep.
So no, I don't think that game deserves much more attention unless Slams got anything
no,
groundbreaking.
I'm pretty-
let's fly on right through.
Pretty happy to move on to the next one here. The Lions got to host the Saints. The Saints being up and down, and Detroit on the back of a win couldn't replicate that here with a superior New Orleans offense. That it saw a bit of an uptake, I think, from what we've seen in recent weeks. Anyway, Drew Brees looked a little bit better
Yeah.
from what I saw.
Another man who might be in trouble here too, the head coach of the
Matt
Lions.
Patricia,
Yeah,
100%. Underperforming for a couple of years now. Saints did come away 35-24 victors in this one.
For
20,
mine,
29, I think it was. Blaze.
29.
Yeah.
Poor handwriting on my part, unfortunately, but that happens.
Yeah, they were up 14-0 early too. Yeah. The Lions. So
they lost
you know,
it in a second. They
just
gave up
standard.
21 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave up 21 points and
Lost,
that's
they
when
got
the game
rolling.
started going backwards.
Did Michael Thomas come back this week, boys?
No, Michael Thomas did not play. And that's the point I had circled here was
Yep.
they need Michael Thomas back just to round out their offense.
Yeah.
I think Emmanuel Sanders played one of his better games.
Yeah,
Kamara
yeah.
obviously has been playing well.
Yep.
So I like that out of them. But one that, for me, who's shaping up to be a Trent Richardson type, aka a bust, Jeff Okuda,
Got that.
pick 3 in the draft.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus rank him the 103rd out of 103 cornerbacks in the league.
That's insane.
Through weeks 1 to 4 this
Now,
season.
he's obviously a young man learning his trade, but that's not great.
That's not good.
That's not great
Not when
stats.
you're a defensive
He did have a pick on the weekend,
Jeff
but he
Henson,
did
yeah.
make quite a few mistakes.
yeah.
So to call team.
It's a tough one. Hopefully, the young man can turn it back because you don't want to see him bust this early in his career. But
Lions, Blaze,
yes, the
when
Detroit
leading by
Lions.
10 plus points, have lost all 6 of their last games.
So early on here, we're seeing some trends that the bad
Yeah.
teams are truly deplorable.
Bad, yeah.
What?
When leading by 10, they've lost their last 6 games.
Wow.
That's not good.
So if the Detroit and Atlanta were to play a game,
Yeah.
Atlanta
Yeah.
would have to go up in the last quarter.
It would
and
be
you
a
would hope Detroit
serious
aren't up by
choke-off.
10.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Atlanta might get a comeback.
There's a lot of
Jeez, there's a lot of variables and intangibles
Oh,
and components that just don't make sense in this league.
it's a
What
very,
I liked
very
about
tricky one to
New
figure out.
Orleans on the weekend, though, Blaze, like they did show a bit of ground game as well, and they spread it around as well. Like Kamara had 83 yards and a TD, and then Murray had
Yes,
64
Latavius.
yards as well, and had 2 TDs. And yeah, Sanders probably had his best game as a Saint as well. He had 6 receptions for 93 yards.
Sanders will be much better to have Michael Thomas back in. That
Oh,
goes that
100%.
obviously goes without saying.
Goes
But
from one
yes.
out one to
yeah,
one out two
when he
pretty
can
quickly.
sit and get that lesser kind of top tier coverage, I think you will see an uptake in Sanders' output. I think
Yeah,
100% agree.
very good.
they just need him to come back.
With the tips there, I think we all took the Saints. No real surprises there, and no upset.
2 for 2 so far.
Correct. We
Get
will.
way worse from here, Blaze.
Yes, it will get dirty, and we've kind of alluded to it a little bit here. But let's get the ball rolling and just start the punishment, shall we? Tampa Bay Buccaneers got to beat the Los Angeles Chargers 38-31.
They did.
We'll eat my words a
Real
little bit
comeback
here.
in this
yeah,
one
Tom,
too.
Tom Brady looked Tom Brady of old in that second half. I think
Yes.
I'm man enough to admit that he looked pretty good there. 5 touchdowns to, I believe, five different receivers.
OJ
So,
Howard, one for mine, starting to
yeah.
get a bit more.
Yep.
I think maybe Gronk's not quite up to it
Yep.
currently.
Yep.
Hopefully he gets up to it.
Not.
Yep.
Because I hope he does, otherwise more egg on my face. But I think them working OJ Howard in more at that tight end position is starting to pay off a bit more.
And they didn't have Godwin this week either.
They didn't.
No.
Speaking
And they had
of,
a few injuries too in the second half
Yeah.
during this comeback period, which is why they ended up having the 5 wideouts score.
5 different ones. Scotty Miller looked all right.
Yeah, he's
young
taking
man.
off a bit, isn't he, Blaze?
He's got a little bit of Edelman about him.
He's got a good name too.
He's playing in the slot there, and obviously Brady loves the slot like that. So
5 receptions for 83 yards there and a TD.
and a tub. Yeah, so he's tracking along nicely. That's the second week in a row he's gone all right. So
Jones still had 111 on the ground as well. So,
hey,
yeah.
Justin Herbert here. I don't think you can go back to Tyrod now, can you?
No.
I mean, that's
No.
3 games above 300 yards. He looks
Yeah.
really quite solid there.
290 on the weekend, yeah.
290, yeah.
You can't fathom it happening, especially when Herbert's got the trainer on his side.
Exactly. I mean, the organisation is obviously trending one way. And if
3
you've got-
TDs.
Yeah.
That was an away game, I think, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah, so that's that's a
the
good effort.
concerning
Why
part-
would you bother going back now? It already looks like their season's, they're not going to catch the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So why would you not just keep going when he's playing well?
Yep.
I think the concerning part for mine too is I think the Patriots scored the last 24 points of the game.
Yeah.
You've gone with the Patriots again here. I mean, you talking about the Bucks. You did this last episode.
Ultimate bandwagon.
Jeepers!
He's rattled.
I did
I
watch
think
the Patriots game today too and knew it was 100% a different game.
Bad thing for the Chargers here, Blaze. Herbert led the team in rushing with 14 yards.
Well, Eckler went down.
Yeah.
So, that's one to watch for
But
the,
how,
for the
that's-
do you
that's
not
a
have-
big out.
Do you not have a backup that could have done a little bit better than 14 yards?
I think
You'd
that
hope
Keely
so.
or Kelly's a pretty decent running back,
Yeah.
but he was
Well,
on
apparently
no service.
Yeah.
For mine, the reason the Bucks won this game and not
Yeah.
the Chargers
Yep.
is
Scored more
Joey
points.
Bosa and Ingram did
Yeah,
not get
they didn't get any
to
anywhere.
Brady. There was
Yeah.
no sack, so the offensive line held up quite well.
And if you have seen our preview show, we flagged that as one to watch. And obviously, if that didn't eventuate, they were going to be hard to beat. And I mean, proofs in the pudding, innit?
100%.
38-31.
It's a bit
there.
surprising that he was able to come from behind. I'm not sure I thought he had that in him anymore.
No.
So that's
He-
interesting.
one of the ones as well, can't remember, it was one of the ones in, I believe, the 4th. He aired that thing out.
Oh, yeah.
That was the longest throw I've seen him throw in about 2 to 3 years.
It was vintage Brady, and I think credit where's credit's due. He got it done when it counted there, albeit the Chargers might not be that much chop when it comes down to it. But hey, you only beat what's put in front of you. So
Exactly right.
good
That's
luck
true.
to him. Bengals Jags, another one that I've failed to nail here. The 33 Bengals beat the 25 Jaguars.
Yep, they did.
Joey Burrow's first career win.
So I had the Bengals here.
Yeah.
And for mine, it's good to see Joey Burrow get his first win.
Yep.
It could have become one of those burdensome things if he kept going on and
Yeah,
not getting that first
yep.
win. So good to get the monkey off the back, especially after that tight loss, or
Yep.
not a loss, a draw against Philly previously.
Yep.
That was good to see. I said last week the biggest thing for the Bengals here is they need to get a running game going because so far this season, Joe Mixon's, I think, game high might have been about
Installed.
54 yards.
Yeah, he's heard you.
So he's obviously tuning in to the Bandwagon Fan and the podcast, more importantly. And he goes out, what did he have?
Team effort.
151 yards,
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
touchdowns,
2 TDs.
which is probably the reason they won the game at the end of the day. We blow up, blow smoke up. Joey Burrow up Smoky
Smoky
Joe.
Joe.
Smoky
Joe.
No, I think the fact that Mixon got out, had a few
Yeah.
receptions as well, so it
Yeah.
wasn't just purely rushing. He needs to
Higgins
produce
had
that
a
more
bit of a
often.
breakout one as well. Not a massive day, but had 77 yards on 4 receptions as well. So that's good.
They'd be really happy with how he's coming along.
Yeah.
I think with the recession
He's
of
actually got more talent around him than probably I realised or just sort of forgot about because, they've been down the bottom for so long.
with the regression of
And
AJ
with-
Green, who's
yeah.
dropping off a bit,
Yeah.
they needed T. Higgins. I mean, I know is it Tyler Boyd down there that's going
Yes.
all right?
Yeah. He
so-
actually did lead the team in receiving. Again.
Yeah. So I mean, they've got. If you're a Bengals fan, you might be able to see a little bit of light.
There's
there.
something to build around
Yeah.
now. There seems like
Going
a
back-
cause developing.
Yeah.
Going back to your good call, bad call before, Schnars, he was actually the first rookie, Burrow that is, first rookie to have 300 plus yards in 3 consecutive games in his rookie year.
Well, that's good. That's a good little thing to
So,
chuck in his
yeah,
resume there.
absolutely.
I think they'd be chuffed with how that's panning out so far. I couldn't ask for much more from a young man. And I don't know that too many of us would be surprised by just how well it's going. I think we envisioned maybe a bit of a few teething issues, and
I didn't think it would be this good.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably the best way.
Very
to put it.
unlucky not to be 2-2.
Yes, true.
Yep.
Yep, very
I
true.
think
If it was
DJ Chark played well for the Jaguars as well in a game after
Return
coming
game.
back.
So we
from being
touched on
injured
him
as
last
well.
week. Was that 95 yards, 2 tuds?
Yeah.
So a huge one for him.
Yeah.
And one player I'd like to call out specifically from
Yes.
the Jacksonville Jaguars,
yeah.
who was one of the players I actually knew going into
So your
the season.
research is coming to the front.
So this
here.
is not even part of the research.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even look this player up because I knew he played there. And
Oh,
that was
right.
Tyler Eifert.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has
playing
been
against his old team.
playing against his old team.
Yeah.
And playing this season, he has been pretty much useless catching the ball. 2 catches for 22 yards this week, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me just check my notes. Don't have it written down, but that's what I reckon it was, so I'm going to go with that. Tyler, lift.
There it is, the bandwagon
good.
fan. When he calls you out, you better listen.
Well, it
because-
worked for Mixon last week,
Exactly.
guys.
So-
And it's worked for Kirk as well,
It's
because he's
worked for
come full
Kirk.
circle.
Kirk's actually moving along just nicely now after the weekend.
Oh.
It is a little bit of a segue. 31-23. They went
Wow,
into
that's
Houston.
worked well, hasn't
yeah,
it?
it has. I didn't think that was
I
intentional.
do plan things on
Oh,
it.
do you? You've done well. Me and
Without
Sam.
mentioning Kirk.
Me and Slammer were just not on the same wavelength with you there, mate. But yeah, they did go into Houston and beat them 31-23. Kirk with his first dub of the year. They moved to 1-3.
Ding dong, Bill is dead.
And Ting Dong Bill is dead. Yes.
So what I had written down for this game, there wasn't a lot. I was like, "G'day, Kirk. I just want to formally apologise for selecting Houston to beat you last week.
I'm sure I'd apologise. He only had 260 and 1 TD.
It doesn't matter. I didn't select him, and he's proven me wrong.
Well, you did mention that he's let you down 3 times so far, so you
And I've
jumped
winning all
off.
3 weeks. I jumped off, like a good bandwagon fan does.
So
But I've jumped off to another 0-3 team now who are 0-4, and as Slammer mentioned, Tata Bill. See you later. Sayonara.
Bill.
Arrivederci.
I think we've seen enough of Bill O'Brien. We've probably talked enough about Bill O'Brien.
Probably not going to talk about it for another at least.
We don't need
12
Yeah,
weeks.
Ideally,
Got
we
to
don't
make the
need
most
to
of it
now.
on this show.
Poor old Deshaun Watson. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really talented quarterback that's now finding himself in a really, really average situation with that. And like we spoke about light at the end of the tunnel for the Bengals. Like, what does it look like for the Texans? I think it's
Well,
always
I've got one for you, Blaze.
okay. Let's go.
So if Deshaun Watson is the great quarterback that he's, all cracked up to
Proclaimed.
be, and you're saying he is right now, Texans in the last 4 years, which is probably how long he's been there, are 4-21 when trailing at halftime.
okay. So what you're suggesting is
He's got no comeback clutch in him whatsoever.
yeah, the grit, the that quarterback gene.
The thing that Patrick Mahomes is made out of. Correct, Blaze. That's what I'm saying. He's only ever come back from a deficit at halftime 4 times in 25 games.
So you're calling him a front runner.
Yep.
Downhill skier.
Yep.
I mean, and it's hard
The
to
stats
argue.
don't lie.
It's hard to argue with that. I mean, he's had a fantastic weapon in DeAndre Hopkins. He's obviously not won a game since he's left. They've won.
Great call.
They've dropped a couple of really, I guess, what you'd call gettable games. That would definitely be what they would have considered winning, and that's probably why Bill O'Brien
Were
doesn't
they
have
at
a job
home
now,
there as
so-
well? Yeah, I think they were at home.
They were at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were at home.
The one for mine here, Blaze.
Yes, my friend.
Brandon Cooks. When
Yeah.
they've traded Hopkins, they've gone out and got Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
They've traded LA traded Cooks and a 4th
Yep.
for a 2nd.
Yep.
So they've essentially given up a 4th round, swapped it for a 2nd, and got Cooks along the way. He had what was he again?
I don't know. I didn't
remember.
write it down.
He was
He had nada pretty
he
much.
had pretty much
Yeah.
had nada,
Yeah.
which is
Fuller had a good game.
he did. But that's not what we're talking about here.
We're not talking about
Cooks,
Willie Fuller.
they've gone out and got you to replace Nuke, D-Hop. And you're
Well, that's
serving up
that's
this.
not his fault.
He's going off again.
That's not his fault. He didn't ask to be replacement for Nuke.
No, but he's
not a
professional
replacement,
athlete.
Nuke.
He's a professional athlete,
And he was brought in
He's
to do a
not
job,
Nuke.
and he's currently not doing his job.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a theme.
There's
like,
very few Nukes getting around.
There's a theme unfolding here, and Schnazi's putting the rocket up a few that deserve it. I think Brandon Cooks
We're
probably
4 weeks in now.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to let things go.
nor should you bandwagon because you're always looking for more bandwagons to hop on.
You know you know whose bandwagon I'm well and truly on? Dalvin Cooks.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dalvin Cook is a
What
sick.
was that saying about 130 yards, 2
130,
touchdowns?
2 TDs on 27 rushing attempts. And I think we said this previously. If they're going to win games, the same way I said it with the with the Browns, that it has to go through Cook. And that's what they did on the weekend. They took it out of Kirk's hands, didn't ask him to do anywhere near as much.
Didn't throw a pick this week, which
Didn't
is
throw
good.
a pick this week. And Thielen and Jefferson both had over 100 yards. So
Jefferson quickly becoming one of my favourite rookies getting around at the moment.
well, he'll be
Jefferson-
wrapped to
and
him.
that Big plays as well. That was 103 yards on 4 catches.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So
No, I think
25 and a bit.
It's big
on
love.
average.
It's big love from us for Dalvin Cook. I
Yeah.
think he's one of those premier backs.
Well, that's what I said at the start of the year. What was that segment we had on the stock exchange one where I said they were sneaky and they haven't started well, which hasn't helped me. But
Yeah.
I did say it's going to be all about Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's downplay the bit that you got wrong and definitely upplay the bit that you got right.
send
So
it down and talk all about the bit that I might have got a sneaky bit right.
bit of creative
I
accounting.
think what they're doing there is obviously they brought Jefferson in to replace Diggs from the
Correct.
draft. You could end up having Thielen,
Yep.
Diggs, and then Dalvin Cook being your 3 key offensive weapons. You give Kirk the ball, just ask him to distribute it in a nice, orderly manner.
We'll keep him honest. Yeah.
Well, Jefferson's done enough here to not cop the bandwagon rocket, which
Yeah.
is not what Brandon Cooks has done.
Which everyone is copping the rocket
He was
tonight.
part of Joey Burrow's man.
both of
He was
those-
part of Joey Burrow's squad of men last year at LSU. Jefferson.
Both of those two teams have lost their best wide receiver from the previous year.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. But
And you take the Vikings 30.
and look how well Diggs is going at Buffalo. So that's
Flying.
He absolutely flying. But the picture I'm trying to paint here, I'm getting my easel out. Got my Kansas.
Picasso, yeah.
Yeah, I've cut my ear off.
Schnicazo.
Not Picasso. That's Van Gogh, but anyway.
I was getting the Van Gogh,
Uncultured
but don't
swine.
worry. The picture I'm trying to paint here is they've lost Diggs and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
But Jefferson looks like he's going to be the man to step up. And hopefully come next year, everyone goes Diggs who? Because
Yeah.
they're going to have Jefferson potentially for 10 years.
And
Yeah.
I will say too, you're paying Jefferson a considerable less amount of
much.
money
Oh,
than
yeah.
Stephon Diggs this
Yes.
year.
Which
Which
means
Which
you
is
can
going to my mate
You can just put
Kirk.
it straight into
Which-
Kirk's bank account, which is
allows-
not a waste at all.
I was going to say, it allows you to do some creative things elsewhere,
But
but,
they
you're
did
right.
sign Dalvin Cook, didn't they? They
Yeah.
re-signed him.
I think they did
Yes,
re-sign Dalvin
yes.
Cook. Yeah, so they'd be very happy with that,
Probably
and
a
that's
much
a
smaller
marquee
pay
back.
packet,
Hey, Dolphins Seahawks in a result that no one really was surprised by, but I think the Dolphins can take some solace in the fact they only went down by 8 points in the end.
Yes.
It's
Two
one
a
of those.
time.
It's one of those elusive, respectable losses, but it does
I don't
bring us
think
in.
you can call for Tua time after a respectable
Tua
loss to
time.
the
Yeah,
Seahawks.
I'm not calling for Tua time after. I think Fitzmagic is doing
Fitz had
enough.
no
at the moment.
TDs and 2 picks.
No, he had a rushing one.
He's doing enough.
He got one on the ground.
No picks.
Anyway,
2
let's
INTs.
let's not get caught up in that one too much because you have put on the hat.
I have.
Just step us through what went wrong on the weekend, my friend.
Well, it's not in this game, Blaze, because I had this game rock solid.
Right.
I was exactly right about this game.
Yeah.
But
It
I
does
will.
open up the guarantee.
Yeah, it opened up the guarantee, and it opened it up well. And at the end of the guarantee today with the Packers ended up fine as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the team that let me down was obviously the Cardinals, and I'll save that because I'll get into that in a few games' time, and
Okay.
they are going to cop a rocket. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that one. We've already seen a couple out of the Schnazi's.
Team Rockets on fire tonight.
Schnazi's artillery is just popping off, and we might see a big one from the
I am
Chucky
very
man.
hurt.
He is hurt. And you can tell he's hurt, and he's going to have to wear the hat until we get to it, too.
Well, okay.
I know you were going to take it off.
I was about to
I
take it
want
off,
you to
but I'll keep it on.
I
It's
want
good
you to
looking.
keep-
It's
I
fashionable.
want you to keep it on. Hey, I don't know much more we need to say about the Seahawks
think-
there. Russell Wilson just continued to...
He's going to do the same.
Yeah.
Less bombs this week.
Yeah.
Which was
Less total tubs, obviously,
Yeah.
but no less impressive.
still running
performance.
red hot. Still did enough to win.
Do you want another great stat?
Always.
Okay.
And just cut off Schneiders in the process, of course.
59-0, went up by 4 points at halftime since 2012.
59-0.
That's a stat.
That's a huge
That's a stat.
Massive stat, worth interrupting for.
I'm happy to be cut off for that.
you probably got away
Because
with that
all I
one.
had was I wanted to fire another rocket up yours.
Like
Because
mine or
your mate
Blazers?
Gesicki,
Oh, you're saying...
Oh,
he's had one catch again for 15 yards.
oh no. Did
I'm
you
the-
bet on him again?
No.
I've seen Jasecki go ice cold in front of my eyes. It's just not good. He's in my fantasy team. It's just not looking great.
He's
not
heard
looking
you.
great.
He's bought his own hype
Yeah.
based on what you were saying. But what he doesn't realise is you've tipped 8 of 15.
If we take away anything from this episode, the
that
review
Blaze
show for
can't
week
tip.
4, it's that I'm pretty much cursed at this point.
Yeah.
There's some bad things coming in terms of the best bet, in terms of the tipping results,
Yes.
and in terms of Mike Gesicki. So it's not great down in B-Town at the
Just
minute.
while we're on Wilson at the moment, Blaze, and
Yeah.
the Seattle Seahawks, is Aaron Rodgers... I know we're not talking about them right now, but is
I'm
Aaron
gonna say
Rodgers...
yes.
Is he closing the gap on the MVP race?
Well,
It's hard to say closing.
but he's
But
definitely making a case.
He's clear second.
He's making a case.
There
to
you
be
go.
considered.
And I actually checked the market before this, and he
Yeah.
is clear second.
He is.
Yeah, there you go.
Josh
My
Allen.
mate
will
Josh
be-
Allen fourth.
I was going to say
Is he?
floating around.
Who's
Yeah.
third?
Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah.
Really?
After having 97 yards in the air.
That's
Jeez.
a live reaction for you fans. Quite shocking that. Hey, the Titans Steelers was delayed due to COVID.
This
we
is a bit of
don't
a
don't
sticky-
have heaps to say on it.
Only thing to say about this game is what did I tip this week? I was 12 of 15, Slam.
Yep, I was
And
11.
And you were 11 of 15. So this
Yep.
is the
Blaze
last
was
game.
8.
So it won this game. Do we just write this off from this round and just pick it up in the bye weeks? Or
Yeah, it's been moved to around
Yeah.
8 game, I think, and now the bye for the Steelers has
Yeah.
changed to week 7 or something, and so.
it's good. It's a bit of a fluid fixture, and I like that because I don't want them just to play on a random Wednesday night and it's
No,
out the
yeah.
back end.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
glad
It's
they
very
did that.
handy that they all have one bye and they're all on random weeks in the NFL. It works in quite well for
Yeah.
their scheduling, really.
It will.
Awesome. That's all we got to say.
Yep.
Metcalf had 100 yards again, just quietly while we're at it.
Oh, I thought
He's flying.
I was like, the Titans and Steelers didn't play, mate. I don't know how
No,
anyone caught that
sorry.
many
I don't
yards.
think Metcalf plays for either of those two
Yeah.
teams.
Metcalf, 106 yards.
Bit of a wild ride
Huge.
there. The Cowboys versus the Browns in a game that saw the Cowboys defense
Down
really come to the forefront of our minds in terms of just how poor they are.
there. Yeah, they suck.
They are terrible. 300 on the ground, another bunch in the air, and just a really disappointing kind of output from them.
I had one note for
Pathetic.
this game,
Yeah.
and that was Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the difference maker in this game.
He only plays well against the Cowboys, nuts.
Well, that is true. That's
Yeah.
where he took the catch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like all he does.
He
Just
has
turns-
it-
he
he
just
has it in his
turns up to
diary. He
beat
must have
Jerry.
a gripe with Jerry.
Yeah.
Hates
Something.
Jerry.
Hates
Just-
Jerry.
Hates Jerry.
Something weird is going on there.
Mm.
There's a few weird things said about Odell, which we
Yeah.
won't touch on in here, but if you've got
Yeah.
some spare time,
Mm.
you'll find it. But
Just-
he was unreal. That rushing touchdown he
Yeah.
had, the one that he caught from Juice Landry.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
massive.
Juice Landry threw the best ball the best ball from any passer
Yeah.
from Cleveland all year
Yeah,
came
that's
from
correct.
Juice
Probably
Landry.
several years.
bloke with purple hair,
Mm.
which
got
is
purple
Blazers,
this week.
mate.
yeah, it's purple.
Mm.
Yeah, right.
It's deplorable.
Anyways,
It's
Mm,
deplorable.
right.
enough said about that. But I have a question for both of you.
Okay.
So the last
Fire away.
there's the last 3 teams to score 49 plus points versus the Cowboys at Dallas have been the 2004 Eagles, the 2013 Broncos, and the 2020 Browns. What do the Eagles and the Broncos have in common?
Wait to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will the Browns make the Super Bowl this
Oh,
year
you're-
based on this fact?
You're tripping.
No. Eagles lost the Super
That's
Bowl.
a clowning
What year
question.
Broncos was it?
13. I think.
2013.
Oh,
That the year they won with?
nah, I'm pretty sure that's the year they lost to the Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks one.
So what you're telling me is both of those teams went on to lose the Super Bowl.
So the Browns are going to lose the Super Bowls.
Nah, I don't
It's a bit
think they'll
of
be
a
getting
yeah,
there.
I don't think they'll get that far. But I like that. It's a bit creative.
The stats don't lie.
It's out. You're thinking
That's
outside
not
the.
as much stats
You're
as
thi-
coincidence.
You're thinking. He's thinking outside the box. I love that from
But
the
if you
big
This
want
is
a good
classic.
stat-
One of those stats that you find where they just make up the stat
Yeah.
to fit the narrative.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. It's like the old
I don't
ESPN.
mind it.
It's the ESPN special. Like
Do you wanna
when
know-
this and this happens.
Yeah.
I've got
blah, blah,
another
blah.
crazy one for you here, Blaze. I've got them coming out.
Hold the
Really
notepad
nice.
close to your face.
Okay. 2000. So
Must be because he's got the hat on. It's blind.
Cowboys have had
shade.
2,038 total yards in the first 4 games, right?
Yeah.
So a bit over 500 each game.
Yeah.
That is the most in the history of the NFL over the first 4 weeks of a season ever.
Wow.
And they're 1-3.
Yeah. So that says a fair bit about the defense.
1-3.
Does
And
it-
you've put the most yards up in 4 weeks
I know
ever.
we mentioned Dak Prescott making a PB the last week. He's obviously gone out this week and blown up over 500. At what point
Yes.
are we saying that this boy is? He's such a hard one to dissect and like.
It's
It's
one of the-
easy when you're playing from behind the whole
It's one-
time. You've got
and
to
that's
point
the point I
points
was
up.
going to get. So
Yeah.
this week, there's 2 concerning points out of this game. One for each team.
Yep.
Dak had not Dak. Ezekiel Elliott had more receiving yards than he had rushing yards.
Yes.
Not a great sign because that
No.
shows you're playing from behind and you're absolutely throwing bombs.
Yeah. Correct.
The second point is Nick Chubb, MCL.
Yeah.
The
bad.
dual-headed dragon. as a big man to my right or left, wherever if you're watching, likes to call it. This is at least, in my opinion, I'm not an expert, maybe a minimum of a 6-week injury.
We'll give a shout out to your mate Bear. He'd be able to tell you what MCL would be. 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I think 6 weeks.
Yeah, might have to get you on for a medical report 1 week because the amount of injuries going on at the moment.
The old
decapitating dual-headed dragons over here is just ridiculous.
Well, I'm bloody emotional about that because those two running a tandem like that, I mean...
Well, did you see the bloke they picked up? Like that came in on the weekend?
No.
Some guy I had never heard of called Dernest Johnson had 13 rushes for 95 yards.
Yeah, well, again, it comes back to the same point about that Cowboys defense not being able to stop her.
And how good that Browns O-line is at moving people out of the way.
Yeah, true.
I think, but Kareem Hunt here is a good
Oh, 100%.
second stringer to bring in and say, look, our man who's probably almost up there for Offensive Player of the Year so far, Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
To see him go down is sad because he was playing some good ball.
Yeah.
But not a bad. One of your old mates at Deeplands.
He's an old friend of ours. Unfortunately, some of his off-field infractions left him on the
not what we're about.
On the scrap heap. We're a bit above it. But hey, good luck to him. I think this is the opportunity for Kareem to show everyone like what he was at Kansas City, and I think you will see
a job elsewhere, perhaps.
Yeah, I think you really will see a serious bit of output from him in a team that wants to run the football now.
Schnars, I have a question for you. How many games do you think Baker Mayfield has won in the league?
Oh, wait, where you talk?
All time.
So we're just talking about his win-loss record?
No, just how many games do you think he's won?
Dead silence on the mic just for you at home.
It'd be less than 14.
No, it's 15. But how many of those...
I had 14 just written.
Close-ish.
Okay. How many of those 15 wins do you reckon came against a team above 500?
Maybe like 2.
4.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what's your working theory?
Well, he just doesn't beat any teams that are any good.
So
just beats bad teams.
Again, it's a bit of a front runner thing, and
it's only beaten 4 teams with a record above 500.
That's a loaded stat, in my opinion. And the reason I'm going to say that is the Cleveland haven't been a good team. They're building to be this good team. The first year they come in, they like pretty much bottomed out. He was a number 1 pick.
Yep.
They had the 1 and 4 pick that year. They've built the team, so you got to write off that first season.
He's got a season under Big Freddie Kitchens, so
so it's a bit of a loaded stat for mine, but I like the narrative. It's one we can watch.
Yeah,
we'll see how they go this year when we just maybe
I was just trying to think
like
how many. They're 3-1 now. How many teams that they've beaten so far would be above 500?
I guess what you mean is like how many good wins do you have that make a quarterback?
Yeah. How many wins does he have that actually mean something?
How many games you look back on and think, geez, Baker Mayfield really took it up to the Chiefs or the Ravens?
Yeah,
or,
I just can't remember the
Steelers.
Does he have a marquee win?
They beat the Ravens last year in like week 4 or 5.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's definitely one to watch. I like that, Schnazi. I think we'll keep our finger on the pulse as we do with that one. Big time upset here. Arizona Cardinals lose to the Panthers 31-21.
Chuck me the bottle of red, Schnars.
Panthers with 2 on the trot. Chucky boy's reaching for a drink because this one hurt. This is where the guarantee went down. And those responsible, I assume, I'm just going to pad this out a little bit to make sure the big Chucky man is ready. Those responsible will pay
big glass.
Those responsible will be paying the price. I think, Chucky, if you're good and ready, mate.
I'm ready, Blaze.
Allow them to receive your wrath.
Right, listen here, little midget quarterback. I don't know who you're playing this weekend, but if you don't get a dub, I am off. I was going to print up a picture of me today with the Arizona logo and then light the photo on fire here in the studio tonight, but then I remembered it's my house and I don't want to have that mess in here. I am fed up. That's 2 weeks in a row in the Slammers guarantee that I've thrown you in there, and 2 weeks in a row I've been let down. Crap! Hopkins didn't even get like 70 yards on 7 receptions. Crap! Kenyon Drake, I think he almost got outrushed by Kyler. Crap! Kyler, 133 yards in the air. Crap! I've had enough, Blaze. If they don't bounce back this week, I'm off. I was probably the hottest person in the world on the Cardinals in the preseason. And after 2 weeks, I was sitting back in my desk chair thinking, I am a genius. What have they gone and done? Detroit and Carolina in back-to-back weeks? Are you kidding me? Kyler, go and get yourself a footstool and have a good look at yourself in the mirror, mate, because I've had enough. That's all I've got to say on that, Blaze.
That was all offense-driven, but that Cardinals defense just coughed up 31 to the Panthers.
The one thing I had written down here was the Panthers ran all over the defense.
Yeah.
And if you can recall back to the start of the year, as Slam.
Yeah, without CMC.
Without run CMC.
We quite rightly mentioned that the Cardinals' offense is going to be something to watch this year. Collectively, the offense should outweigh the defense. And
21
still
points
losing
is crap.
The defense got exposed. They got run all over without a top 5 running back who Christian McCaffrey should be playing.
Yeah.
Their defense also need to take a look and maybe they can all go to the same mirror and lift Kyler up.
Yes.
And look at it collectively and say, boys, we need to do better. Because you know what? You have the New York Jets this week. If you lose to the New York Jets,
Wow.
the season's over. I cannot believe it. I would have said looking forward and going, the Jets are playing the Cardinals. Slammer will have the Cardinals in his guarantee.
No, not for a third week.
At $1.32. But there'll be egg on his face if he does that. And there'll be egg on all of your faces. Especially yours, Cliff Kingsbury. Yours.
If they lose to the Jets, I don't think I could be in this room because I'll turn into a punching bag, the embodiment of Kyler Murray.
You've got so many traits similar to him. You're small, you're skinny, you can't throw the ball. Kyler, the last 2 weeks, mate, I've had enough of you. Slammer's gone off at you, and now I'm going off on you because I don't like it.
It's the first ever double bake.
It is.
Hang on, it was a triple bake. I've just copped collateral.
Because it makes us look bad too, because the Panthers, we wrote them off after week
suck.
2 and said they're the worst team in football. Clearly we were wrong because the Jets are, and then the Giants, and then it should probably be the Panthers or the Jags. But they've won 2 in the trot, and they've lost to the Cardinals. We're losing respect from the fans because of you, Kyler. I'm over you.
Ben Chuck.
That is probably the biggest meltdown in the history of this show. And
You got anything to say?
I don't know what to say that you boys didn't cover there. I mean, like we mentioned, a run CMC less Carolina Panthers have just beat the Arizona Cardinals 31-21. That's a 10-point spread.
I knew I didn't like the geography of it, Blaze.
No,
I
you
just
did.
had to hold myself on an F-bomb there too. But I didn't like the geography on it. Didn't like they were over mine.
You did mention
and they
it.
didn't do anything to help me.
Hey, let's
Dogs.
to try.
Pack of dogs.
I think that might be all we need to say on that one for the time
skip
being.
They've had their wings clipped, and we are off them.
I think the fans allow us to simmer on that for a little bit. The preview show,
I'm not simmering, Blaze.
the preview show will come along just as quickly as this one goes, and I'm sure that there'll be some interesting takeaways or some predictions for that one and what might happen if those Jets were to beat the Cardinals. I would hate to be this house. The Bears and Colts should take the sting right out of this.
I think we can probably power through the next
Bears
2 ones
Yeah,
too.
11-19.
I
Colts
have
got up.
almost no stats on this, Blaze.
Yeah.
Because it was crap.
Yeah, it was a boring game. Indianapolis come away
There's
8-point
one
victor.
stat that Slammer and I both became aware of while we were watching some highlights previously tonight.
Okay, good.
The one stat
No, I
is,
do remember now.
it is the Colts defense.
Yeah.
They are number 1 for giving up the least points per game.
Yeah.
They are number 1 for the least yards per game. They are number 1 for the least yards through the air per game.
Yeah.
And number 4 for rush yards.
That's flying.
Names don't spring to mind when I think Colts defense.
Darius Leonard.
Darius
Yeah.
Leonard. I'm
struggling absolute
after
steal in that draft.
DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
Is Justin Houston still there, the ex-chief? He was there last year. I'm not sure if he's still going around.
But their defense was what they played on. They
Yeah.
made the playoffs, was it last year or the year before when Leonard first came out of draft? It was
Yeah.
probably 2 years ago now. And their defense just kept them in everything.
Yeah.
But
They
no,
look good. Mitch Trubisky goes 3-0, and now Nick Foles takes the reins. And
I don't know if you
oh
can give
my.
them 3 wins.
There was a little bit of bait on that one. There was a little
I
bit.
don't
Of
really have much to
Chicago
yeah.
didn't even have 30 rushing yards on the weekend.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Less than 30 rushing yards as a team.
Is Montgomery still there running?
Pathetic. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think Montgomery. Yeah, he is.
But look, I don't really have a lot to say here. Like, they boil my blood.
Yeah.
You probably
Rivers-
picked that up at the start.
At least there was no bear rave this week, Schnazzy.
Thank God.
Oh, the front office were the most thankful out of anyone.
They are running low
budget's-
on
the
funds
budget's
after
already
that
been
trip to Tahiti.
The budget's already been blown out. Hey, moving right along here.
No, Blaze, I do have one interesting stat on that.
Okay.
Phil Rivers did share the ball around really well in this game.
Oh, okay.
Nine players on the Colts offense had a catch.
That's good. And did he have any turnovers on the weekend?
No,
I'll
Blaze.
jump you
190
through.
yards, 1 TD.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's good.
Does that put them 3-1 now?
they are
Yeah.
3-1. A really sneaky 3-1.
After
Did they lose week 1?
They lost
Jags.
week 1.
Yeah, to the Jags, and we were all like, "Oh, the Colts are no good."
If they didn't win that game, they would almost make our Elite 8,
I know.
100%.
which
They're-
be hard.
will be revealed next episode.
They're
It'd
sneaky.
be hard to ignore.
They're sneaky at
Make
3-1.
sure you stick
I had
around.
no idea that they were 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't already seen it, I mean, I guess I'm talking a bit futuristically here, but the preview show will have that Elite 8 segment, which is popping off.
Oh.
It is a lot of fun for us, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Hey, Ravens v Washington football team, 31-17. Baltimore bouncing back as we thought they might.
This was a nothing game for mine.
Yeah.
The Washington, they're still growing. Haskins played well.
Yes.
He's
He did.
playing
Yes.
more consistently
He
this
did.
season, which is good to see. So props to him.
No picks this week against
No
us.
touchdowns
Back to
either,
that.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
Oh,
touchdowns.
he had a
but-
rush, I reckon.
But he's taken away the picks, and that was the problem last year. Now, so every game this year, bar that one disaster last week, no
Yeah.
picks. So
Yeah. Which I'm happy to write
and
off as a bit
over
of a blip.
300 yards.
With a 4-game sample size, like that did seem like he got the hips and just kind of lost it. Whereas the other 3 games, he's looked quite solid behind, like in the pocket there.
Maybe
so
he's a bit of a confidence player that if he gets
Yeah.
one, that
possibly.
when it rains, it pours.
He's only young.
118 yards as
I
well.
like Scary Terry. He's all right. He's all right.
He
And
can
they-
play.
They don't have heaps going on down there, but
One player we baked from the Ravens last week
Yeah.
was Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Did absolutely nothing against the Chiefs.
No,
Bounced
he was
back
awful.
this week and had 2 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
that was good to see. And he's Lamar's favourite weapon.
yeah, he is. And he's important to the way they want to play.
So
Obviously,
maybe that's part of the game plan that teams are starting to bring out now. If you can shut down Mark Andrews, you're going to force them to run the ball. And if you've got a
Yeah.
good run defense, maybe that's the
Ravens-
key to beating
yeah.
them.
The Ravens were back to their blueprint best here. With Lamar only had 21 throws of the football
Yeah.
for 14 completions.
yeah, didn't
So,
need to.
yeah.
He got one home too, rushing, didn't he?
Yes,
I think
53
so.
yards
Yeah.
to the ground and a touchdown.
It's that same thing again. A downhill skiing team.
Yeah.
You have to be in
They
front.
play in front. Yeah,
If you're behind and you force Lamar to make some throws, that he can make him,
yeah.
but he's not. It's not
Sometimes.
part of their blueprint.
He did what he had to do against
So
the
you
Washington
know how
team.
I
that's
said
for
that the
sure.
Washington D line is quite impressive? Well, here's a bad stat about the Washington D. They have allowed 30 points in 6 of their last 7 games.
Yeah, it's
So
a bit
you know,
leaky. And
and when your offense isn't that good, you're not going to win a
we've
lot of games.
talked up that
doing
line a bit.
We have.
We've given it some
Definitely
props.
have.
Offense
but,
does lead to defense,
does,
so if the
yeah.
offense could bail him out a bit,
Yeah,
get some more time on the
it's
sidelines.
a tricky one. But I guess not. I mean, not as hot on the Washington football team as the Bengals, but there's a little bit there to go with if you're a fan. I know there's
Yes, there's considerably worse quarterback play. But
yeah, well, exactly. So it's a work in progress down there. Hey, the Rams and the Giants. You can probably sense by my
Yes.
tone. The best bet went down again. We've established the fact that if the best bet doesn't get above 500 after 8 games.
Well, you'd have to win the next 4, mate. So let's not say that. Let's maybe say win 2.
All right, let's win 2 in the next 4. If it doesn't do that, we're scrapping it completely because it is just an absolutely shambolic segment at the moment. As you can tell, I'm flat as. The Rams got up 17-9, but we didn't hit the
In arguably the worst game of the weekend.
the halftime, full-time margins.
Absolutely
Like,
trash.
It's one of those games where the Rams went out there knowing that they were going to win.
yeah.
and
I
didn't
think
even-
you had it at half time as well. I reckon the first half got up.
Nah, didn't.
Or was it 10
Nah.
to 3?
Nah, it was the second half that got up.
I don't know, but whatever happened there, the most interesting thing that came out of it was a bit of off-field drama between Jalen Ramsey, Golden Tate, and
Jalen Ramsey has
and a
issues wherever he
pregnancy.
goes,
So
doesn't he?
it's
a pregnancy.
well,
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate's sister used to be a
item.
partnership.
Well,
And then when she was pregnant, he left her, and he's just come out recently with another woman.
Slim
so-
Slam and Bandwagon Fan presents E News.
It's about to be
But Blaze was talking about WWE suplexes all preseason. We're talking about Gronkowski, and we finally seen a suplex.
We actually did see a bit of a bust up on the field. Ramsey did lay a nice tackle on Golden Tate.
It was a fair tackle.
It-
I think
it
it
was
was
a squad of men.
It was a fair tackle. It was a forceful tackle. But I mean, again, not dissimilar to what we were talking about earlier. Clutching at straws in a really dire kind
Yeah.
of.
Do you know what I wrote down for this, Blaze?
Nothing.
No stats worth mentioning.
Good.
the only no.
Except for the fact that the Giants have scored under 10 points 2 weeks in a row, and
Yeah.
that is crap.
I had 2 things written down.
Okay.
One, the Rams couldn't establish a running game, which
Yeah.
was concerning for mine.
Yep.
The second thing I had written down was Daniel Jones led the rushing again.
Yeah.
So I think Freeman had 11 carries for only 33 yards. So he's obviously going to take some time to work into the system, but
Yeah.
they need to establish a running game without Saquon
There's also a
Barkley.
reason Freeman was sitting on the scrap heap too. That late. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Because no one else wanted him.
I know we've got to give him time to work into it, but if Daniel Jones is your leading rusher 2 weeks in a row, like there's some red. I mean, there's already red alert going on in New York, both teams.
Yeah.
But, it goes from bad to worse there, doesn't it?
It's not good.
It's really average. The Chiefs v Pats today. We saw the Chiefs after getting the game moved with Cam
Can I
Newton.
start here?
You can, of course. I'd love to throw it in, my friend.
So what I have here is I've got 6 plays that prove that. Yeah, take the hat off. I got 6 plays here that prove that the Chiefs did not beat the Patriots. However, the Patriots lost the game themselves.
So the Patriots
Right.
beat themselves.
The Patriots beat themselves.
Okay.
So first play, Brian Hoyer tries to call a 4th timeout
Yeah.
in the dying
at the end of the
seconds.
half. Yeah,
so
that
he
was
takes a
interesting.
sack and then tries to call a timeout.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Dumb. Really dumb.
Brian Hoyer fumbles in the red zone in the second half before getting subbed out.
Taco Charlton got him on that one.
Yeah.
So they got into the Chiefs within 10 yards, or in the Chiefs 10-yard lines twice during this game.
Yeah, and
for 0 points.
0 points. Yeah.
Watkins did fumble one as well within like 10. Within 10 yards of score.
Oh, that wasn't a fumble though. Was that the one where Stephen
called it.
Gilmore punched it
He
out?
was kind of
It's a
down.
fumble. That's not holding. That's not securing the ball. That's a fumble.
It was. If you go back and watch the replay on that one, that was a very good tackle by
Yeah.
Gilmore.
You could say the same thing about the Taco Charlton one.
Okay, we'll get past that.
Yeah,
That's not what my
we
play's
know
talking
you
about
can
here.
get the skids on
The
that.
third one is that Edelman drop, which Tyron Mathieu picked up
Horrendous.
for a pick
Horrendous.
6.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether Edelman was expecting the pass or not, but
Yeah.
he's just muffed that
Yeah.
completely.
He's dollied it for him.
Then there were 2 dropped interceptions off Mahomes.
Mm.
There was the Devin McCourty drop, which was horrendous, also followed closely by the JC Jackson drop.
Yeah.
So Mahomes
Remember
didn't
that
have an
one.
interception during that game, but there was 2 very bad balls that should have been taken.
Yep.
And I can't remember which one it was, but one of them should have gone for a pick 6. And then the 6th and probably the most important call came in the second quarter, where they called forward progress on when this was
Mahomes
when
got
Mahomes is
sacked.
getting
Yeah.
sacked.
Yeah.
And he's throwing the ball, and it's either fumbled or been intercepted, and it would have been returned
Yeah.
for 6. And then they called forward progress, which means Bill Belichick can't challenge it too.
Yeah.
When the replays show that, you know what, they called forward progress after the ball had left his
Yeah.
hands.
I'll
Yeah.
admit we got a really good break on a call there.
Yeah.
But on the contrary, the Patriots have been getting those called for 15 years. So if any of the Patriots
Anyways.
fans are upset about it,
So they're
go
the
and
points.
do one.
Boo hoo.
So in my opinion, all of this summarised, Bill
Mm-hmm.
Belichick almost had the perfect game plan to go in and beat the Chiefs.
Bill's always got a really good
Yeah.
game
If
plan.
Cam
does.
Newton played, this could have been a very different story. And the last stat I'd have here is there's been 3 times in the Mahomes era since he's started that he hasn't scored a touchdown in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with this.
All 3 times have
Yeah.
been to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But
So
I'll
it's
say this
It's
for you,
interesting.
Schnars.
It's interesting.
When your 2 quarterbacks combine from 190 total yards and 3 INTs, you're probably not going to win any games.
I know, exactly right.
Yeah,
The
it's
Chiefs
tough.
should have lost that. They did not. That was arguably one of Patrick Mahomes'
Yeah, but New
worst
England
game.
didn't play well on offense either.
Yeah, we didn't look
And
great.
it was a 26-10 win. Like it wasn't like let's not say that like New England were almost there. Like they weren't.
No, I'm saying like strip out Brian Hoyer just being an average player, and you put in Cam Newton.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that could have been a bad
It could have been.
game
It could have
for
been.
the Chiefs.
It could have been interesting. It could have
All
been
that
interesting.
being said, the Chiefs being the best team in the NFL,
Yeah.
found a way to win.
yeah, didn't have
Well, I
to
think
play
they
well
clicked-
to get the job done.
They click into gear in like towards the end of the third, through the last quarter, and you end up, like we say, 26-10 without really breaking a sweat.
yeah.
Um,
Without playing well at all.
yeah.
First team in
Mecole
NFL history,
Hardman.
Blaze. First team in NFL history, Blaze, to start 4 consecutive years 4-0.
Yeah, we look really nice.
Patrick
doing it.
Mahomes has never lost a game in September.
Mecole Hardman, another great game this week in terms of stacking another touchdown. I think Tyreek Hill came out on Instagram during the week and said there's no 2 quicker duo in the league, and I think it's going to be very hard to argue with that. They are 2 rapid men. The Raiders versus the Bills. The Bills,
Who?
the Buffalo
Oh,
Bills.
Raiders.
You just want to call him out on Las Vegas, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I
You
did.
don't
No,
like
I
him
thought-
calling him Oakland.
I didn't even
I thought he said the
nibble.
Rays.
I didn't-
Oh god, he's talking about the Tampa Bay Rays. Got into
No, my
baseball.
friend. Buffalo Bills moved to 4-0. They get the job done over the Las Vegas
They're
Raiders.
flying.
They are flying.
Absolutely flying.
Clicking on all gears. I think they might even feature in the Elite 8 a little bit higher.
I reckon we
than
might
they-
have to try and boost them up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I don't know how, because those top 4 teams are pretty good.
It's
but
gonna
the
be
Bills
tough.
are flying.
Yeah, the
Being
Bills-
a Bills fan, I have a contrary opinion
Yeah.
to moving him up.
Yeah.
So, in the first half of games through weeks 1 to 4, the Bills are plus 47. In the
Right.
second half, through weeks 1 to 4, they are negative 24.
Sheesh.
Points?
Yep.
Really? That's a
And you know
very
what this
surprising stat.
and you know what
That
this
is
mirrors?
surprising.
This mirrors that loss last year against the Texans.
It does. That's right.
So I have concerns here that if they are not leading at half time, how are they going to go, especially given their schedule
Bit of
gets a
a-
little bit harder from
That's
here
very
as well.
clever from you,
That is a good
Schnars.
one from you.
Very
I'm a
well
Bills
done.
fan, and
But
I
I'll say
want
the
them to go all the
difference.
way.
I'll say the difference between last year and this year. And it's a guy called Stephon Diggs who had 6 receptions for 115 yards,
Yeah.
and he's got 403 yards to start the season. It's his best ever start to a season. Him and Josh Allen are seriously
Oh,
They've clicked.
connecting.
They
at the
are
moment.
working wonders.
They are working wonders, which is remarkable when you think about the no preseason.
Yeah.
I'm as surprised as you are, and I think they're definitely going. They should definitely win the division this
I
year.
think so.
Absolutely, they have
I
to.
think so.
They're flying.
They're probably going to get a bye in the first week.
Yeah.
So
No,
okay, maybe not.
only one team gets a bye.
There's only one.
Yeah,
Oh, in that case, no.
No.
1 out of 7 gets a bye.
That's why
Because
Sammy's
seven get in now.
the
Yes,
resident
it's changed.
stat man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you know what? I'm being corrected.
You're being rattled.
Okay.
I've
Cage.
rattled myself.
Cage has been rattled. That's
Been
all right.
rattled. And I
They
reckon
did. They
You've been
forced,
really
They
good
forced 2 fumbles on the weekend as well. The Bills defense as well.
Yeah. That Bills defense continues to be decent.
defense was never the issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just continues to stand up. Niners, Eagles, 25-20 on Sunday Night Football. The San Francisco Seconds continue to struggle. We saw 2 different quarterbacks for them. Nick Mullins getting pulled.
Benched.
And Carson Wentz, I guess, continues that theme of a bit of hero ball. But I think, honestly, he doesn't really have many other options.
Well, he
Well,
won
no.
the game for him on the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah,
He's-
he did.
he's
He
got
had
to-
one play
yeah.
that ended up actually getting called back because the flag that got thrown was
Yeah.
actually more beneficial for them. But the play itself that he did was amazing.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely
sick.
amazing.
There's shades of his former self in those kind of moments. It's just about
It's making me feel so much better about how hard I went that he's better than Dak.
Yeah, good.
I think
I'm glad, and I just want
Because there's no way Dak could have done what he did on the weekend with deck chair furniture for wide receivers.
so. The only deck chair piece of furniture they don't have in the offensive moment is Zach Ertz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, did he get absolutely outplayed by
Smothered.
Kittle.
yeah,
And I think Ertz, he's their only
Well,
literally
Kittle had an
notable
all-time
receiver.
game.
yeah. Kittle was fantastic.
Oh, and it was
All-time
unreal.
game.
And it would have almost been one of the matchups to watch if last week we called it.
Yeah.
But we didn't know if Kittle was
Yeah.
going to
No,
come back.
yeah.
So, but Zach Ertz really needs to stand up and help Wentz because Wentz is struggling at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've got that gone to Philly tonight.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about it. They've gone out like the Niners.
I like it.
It wasn't necessarily the Niners' second stringers like it's been the last 2 weeks. They
True,
got a few players
true.
back. And they're not really going to get a lot back from here besides, going to get Garoppolo,
Yeah.
which is going to be good because after some experts last week were becoming Mullins could be the quarterback all season.
Yeah.
Egg on their face.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Overpaid idiots.
Interesting
as
one
someone
here,
to my
though.
right might say.
Kittle, first player since 1948 to have 15 receptions and over 170 receiving yards at the tight end position.
Yeah,
That's mental.
he was beastly, and I think on George Kittle, I
And his
think
return game as well.
it is he is a really exciting, entertaining character, and I think again it fits into our sports narrative kind of thing. George Kittle is just he's a wild man that's just like he's got the hair flowing, it's all
he should play
happening.
for the Vikings.
He's a must-have.
Yeah,
He should play for the Vikings.
He's
He's a Viking himself, pretty much.
yeah, he's a much watched character, and like going up against him in the Super Bowl
Or
last
a
year.
Bronco.
Or a Bronco.
He's a bucking Bronco.
Very good from you. Hey, that's all we need to say there. Good on you, George
I've
Kittle.
just realised as well.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there. I was
Of
so
course.
rattled before as well because we were talking about the Chiefs and the Patriots. And that was only played today
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they had that
one got moved.
COVID Cam Newton,
Yeah.
which we probably didn't touch on
Yeah.
for all, the fans out there who may have not been as
Yeah.
in tune to Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is going to be at least 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but they do have the bye in week
He's
6.
asymptomatic, though.
But isn't that still...
I don't know. There was
weeks.
something I was talking on Good Morning Football last night that apparently he's not a definite out for this weekend's game. If he can have 2 negative tests between now and Sunday, he apparently might be able to play.
We'll have to be careful.
Being
We'll have to be
asymptomatic or
careful delving into the medical world here because
Yeah.
we're not.
It's not our area
No.
of expertise, is it, Blaze?
As a general...
No, it's
As a
not
bystander...
technically.
No.
not technically.
As a bystander here, I would assume he'd be out this week. But the point I was
Yes.
getting at is they have the bye the week
Yeah.
after. So
Yeah.
if they can
Handy.
get through this week
They've got a bit of
without
leeway.
him, and they're probably going to start Stidham after Hoyer stunk it up.
Yes.
Yeah. He's your
Um,
mate, Sam. Brian
who?
Hoyer.
No.
He is your mate. He is.
And what we probably didn't touch on enough too is that all those people out there, the Pats are saying they're going to go with Stidham and Hoyer all year. Don't worry about Cam. Cam's a knight in shining armor. Just walked through the door and saved everything that the Pats had going on there.
Yeah, he's saved that franchise from a really
and
disappointing
maybe without
year.
him, Slam's call of them winning 5 or 6 games might have been
Might
right.
have been on. Might have been on.
Yeah.
Read into that what you will. Hey, the Packers and the Falcons to round the week out on Monday Night Football, which ironically ended up being a doubleheader with the Chiefs game. The Packers got the job done over Dan Quinn's Falcons as that seat that he sits on progressively gets warmer.
Yes. I think he'll be joining his friend Bill very shortly.
Yeah,
Blaze.
they could go-
It could be as soon as tomorrow morning.
Yeah, well, honestly, it doesn't look great for them.
Which by the time this airs, yesterday morning.
Yeah, you're talking
Or this morning.
you're time traveling almost with that,
Yes.
aren't you? Yeah.
It's a bit of time seption.
If I'm
going on
talking
here.
to you
It's a bit
now and he's been fired, it's because I put it out in the universe.
It's a bit of inception. Hey, let's not get carried away in our own
You
hoo-ha.
didn't put it out into the universe until they listened to it.
No, I'm putting it out there in the world now, and somebody's just
Oh,
hearing it.
Jesus.
Oh, this is really
Sounds
get-
like a Blaze gag.
This is really getting iffy. Aaron Rodgers, 30-16.
And I think this might have been what you mentioned at the start. Technically, in my opinion, not closing the gap to Russell Wilson for the MVP,
Yeah.
but the odds the market is closing.
He writing a cover letter and a resume, I think, something like
Yeah.
that. He's just going to put his hand up. We mentioned it last, either the preview or the review, I forget, about the fact that he doesn't take well to being slighted.
No, he does not.
And he
Blaze.
just continues to really, a bit
He's
of
on
a,
fire.
bit of a stink eye to it, and he's just like, all right, here we go. I'm
Let's
Aaron
not-
Rodgers.
let's not bump him up
327
too much. He did play the
327
Falcons.
We did play the
4.
Falcons, correct. And they,
327 and 4, Blaze.
yeah, he's looking good.
I
I'm
think
at,
the thing here was like a good, you have Slammer, who's your security blanket.
yeah, of course.
My security blanket is seeing the Falcons blow a lead.
You love the Falcons.
And I was not
They have
feeling
another lead?
secure today.
Because they were just wallowing.
I was on
the whole-
edge.
It's
Every
because
day I
my
was
man
rattled.
Calvin never got going today.
He did. Calvin Ridley had
Calvin Ridley.
a bit of a sour day. Chuck,
No
what-
catches.
what was his
No
stat?
catches,
He had a-
Blaze.
he had a
No
total.
yards.
Even that's what I had here.
Big
I was like,
sad.
Sam's man, Calvin.
Sam's man Calvin.
Enough said.
It's I can attest to the fact that
He
is
was like a
in the
top 5 wide receiver in the league going into this weekend. Had
Yeah.
like the second or third most yards and then didn't have a good one.
yeah. Well, that's disappointing, mate.
hurts.
But it
One
happens.
guy that I'd never heard of though, Olamide Zakis. He had 8 receptions for 86 yards for Atlanta.
That's good.
Don't know who he is, but well done, son.
Good for him. Hey, the tips are just coming in quickly here. I
Yes.
came in with a lowly 8. Schnarzy boy, I believe you came in with 12, and
11 for
Slammer, you
myself,
were with
mate.
11.
And that's
Yes.
12 out of 15 because that one game got pushed.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Schnaz and myself are both on, I think, 45 or
Yeah.
something like that, and you're on 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not great.
It's not good at all.
So,
is it?
I mean, watch this space. Preview show coming out to you hopefully in about a day's time from watching this. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. With that said, I think that might just about do us for the preview.
I think
the
so,
preview,
Blaze.
the
review show.
Yeah.
The week 4?
Yeah,
week
week four
4
in the books,
review.
my friend.
Oh, it's flying by.
It really is.
Time flies when you're having fun.
We're going to start
A
thinking.
month into the season.
We are. We're going to start thinking about some, half yearly celebratory kind of events here.
Mid-season awards.
Maybe a few guest spots. Maybe a few different things there. So we'll see what comes of
What is
that.
Trump doing?
What? He's a bit crooked at the minute.
Socials.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Slim Sam and the Bandwagon Fan for all your social needs there. Spotify and YouTube, follow and subscribe as always. Keep showing us that support. We're seeing steady growth. We want to keep growing. That's where our end goal
Much like
lies.
Trump's wall if you build it.
That's right. We will.
Steer clear of that.
That's yeah.
He's been slim. I've been slammed. That's the Bandwagon Fan. Good night.
touching that.